Yeah, should be live now. So, just going to be starting this. So, this is going to be the finale of this kind of mini-series, I guess, where I've been going over Mega Man and pretty much all of his moves, everything about him. So, today is going to be the finale of it, at least, unless I do like something like a question and answer, frequently asked questions about Mega Man. Might do something like that as like an extra, but this will be going over Mega Man's neutral, advantage, and disadvantage states, so this is probably the most important of all of the guides as well. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So yeah, with Mega Man, obviously as a zoner character, you're going to be playing a bit of a different neutral from someone like Mario, who's a bit more aggressive. With Mega Man, you obviously want to play a bit more defensively and kind of fire your melons, or not melons, but lemons. Sorry, your lemons as they're commonly referred to, but just your Mega Buster shots if you're going like off of the game's name, I guess. Just kind of keep firing your. Alright, I call them pellets, so I'm just gonna call them pellets. So just fire your pellets across the screen. Personally, I would do something like jab mixed in with like neutral air, as these pellets usually are going to be the most effective from a distance due to them causing hits, or the like forward tilt pellet kind of causes hit stun, or I guess it does cause hit stun, but it doesn't cause any knockback, I guess is what I was referring to. So you want to make sure that with your neutral air and your jabs, that actually causes like a bit of knockback at higher percent. So I mean, they all do about the same amount of damage unless you count like getting right up close to someone and neutral air. That will do a bit more damage due to having a hitbox on the front. But yeah, just kind of mixing up your pellets as well is also pretty useful. Like you can do something like that, which is just forward tilt into a neutral air at the end. Not the best at it, but there we go. That's a pretty simple combo. And I'm even just buffering out the neutral air just by hitting X and A after the second A press while forward tilting. And that will allow you to get some distance if someone's right up next to you. So that's kind of a way to play a bit more defensively and just reset them back into neutral. As with neutral, if you don't know what neutral is, it's basically the position at the start of the match. So pretty much anything kind of in this position is going to be neutral. Like you can get closer to your opponent, but as long as you have about the same amount of options, so like he can throw out any move and I can throw out any move safely with minimal punish, then I would say that would be neutral. I guess maybe not minimal punish, but something that will at least just put you into disadvantage, which is going to be what I talk about lastly. But yeah, so basically in neutral, all you're trying to do is just learn your opponent's habits. And with Mega Man, that's going to be mainly how they avoid your projectiles. Because you can also throw some metal blades to get in more damage than just your pellets, but the pellets are going to be the safest one as they don't leave you as open as the metal blade does. And they're a lot faster as well, although the metal blade is pretty quick. Yeah, just seeing how they interact with your projectiles from a distance will show you how they will most likely approach in scenarios where they are either an advantage or disadvantage, and this can allow you to be able to either take back them or take them back to neutral, not take back them, but take them back to neutral, or to be able to maintain advantage, potentially take a stock, maybe even take them from a disadvantage state to an advantage state for you. So maybe you can go from losing to winning pretty much, just out of what you learn in neutral, as it is very important that you learn it. Now, while I do recommend that you play more defensively, there are obviously times that you have to play aggressively as a zoner, and that's mainly going to be against other zoners. So I'm kind of glad that I got Richter here, as I just chose a random opponent to battle against. So let me just set them to CP level 9 for this example, as this isn't edited, so I can't just cut to a match. So as you can see, Richter is kind of going to be zoning me out, and if I'm zoning him out while he's zoning me out, maybe I can get in a bit of damage, but as you can see, nothing's really happening. Like, I probably couldn't kill him from here. He probably, yeah, as you can see, he would just jump over the forward smash and then eventually try to approach me if I'm playing defensively. So, the good thing about this is, unlike other zoners, Mega Man actually has some pretty good melee moves, as I talked about in the second part of this. So, yeah, if you want to play aggressively at the beginning of a match rather than defensively, you can, using like fair into down throw forward air or down throw back air. You can use back air to kind of work on spacing. And these moves, from a defensive standpoint, they're mainly just used to catch people's jumping that are trying to attack you, as with neutral air, obviously that is a good move to be able to space with, as it offers a lot of knockback, even at lower percentages. The main issue with it is that it has such a small hitbox. You just have that, like, right where Mega Man's arm cannon is. That's pretty much where you have to hit them to be able to get that sweet spot to be able to knock them back. As you can see here, he's getting knocked back slightly, but if I just get close enough, then he will be knocked back a lot further. So with like back air, for example, a bit of a frame drop there, but just back air, for example, or forward air. Hopefully that frame drop goes away soon, or it's not causing too much of an issue. Yeah, back air or forward air. That was forward air twice, but you know, back air or forward air, mainly just used to catch people jumping. So if you notice that people are jumping most of the time to avoid your projectiles, you could potentially do that, or you could also just catch them with up air or up smash, just some kind of anti-air move. Forward air and back air probably work the best at this, as they're a lot safer than something like up air or up smash, just due to them having a bit easier hitboxes to hit. But I guess maybe not up air, but with up smash it's a bit laggier, so you might not want to use that. If they're staying a bit more grounded, you might want to go for something like forward smash to kind of bait them into a jump, and then force them into an unfavorable position, potentially, depending on their weight, and like fall speed. Though that doesn't really apply to all characters. That would be more of a floaty character thing, I guess. Whereas with Richter, he's going to be a bit heavier, so you might want to try to just get him into a situation where getting in the air most of the time is the best option, so condition him to think that he should be fighting you in the air most of the time, and then start anti-airing him, as that will be where you can most likely affect him the best, as on the ground you probably won't be able to do too much to Richter up close to him with like forward smash or down smash leaf shield, just due to the fact of his like whip's range, and the disjoint of the move means that if you try to trade with it, you're most likely going to lose unless you have a disjoint of your own, which Mega Man doesn't really have that much of. So yeah, at least not melee-wise. But now that we're done with that, we're going to be covering your advantage state. So advantage state, mostly kind of just looks like this, where you see Mega Man has a lot more freedom to move around. Like, he can retreat, he can push forward, and Richter only has this corner to work with, so he can move forward a bit, he can roll backwards, although if he rolls backwards, he probably is just going to run into the ledge like this. So pretty much his only options are going to be on stage, and if he goes off stage, then that's pretty bad, due to the fact that Mega Man can probably out edgeguard Richter, just due to the fact that Richter has such a weak recovery and Mega Man has really good edgeguarding tools. So yeah, to start advantage, what you want to do is you just want to get some good damage on your opponent to the point where the knockback of your move is going to put them either back into neutral if you're in disadvantage, or put them into a position where they will most likely be off stage after being hit, and that will most likely just put them in a disadvantage. Kind of like how Richter's at about 52 if I were to hit him with fair. You can see he's instantly off stage, and then I can get a down air on him. So yeah, in advantage, you can play a bit less safe than you can in neutral or disadvantage, just due to the fact that if you get hit, most of the time you will be knocked back into neutral. If you are knocked back into disadvantage, it's not too bad for Mega Man, although with other characters it's going to be much worse if you get knocked into disadvantage after being an advantage. But yeah, with Mega Man, I mean, it's not too bad to play risky, just due to the fact that most of your moves are going to be pretty safe that you're going to be using, or at least the ones that I'm going to recommend be using in Advantage. So yeah, in Advantage, still use pellets to kind of just poke at your opponent in the corner. Mostly just the same types of pellets. Your jab and your neutral air pellets will do you a lot of good, and then also start maybe using some more aggressive attacks like your forward smash, your up tilt, seen there. So yeah, that will either allow you to end the stock, or if it's in up tilt's case, if you don't end the stock, you at least have your opponent in the air, and then you can pressure them on stages like Battlefield. You can pressure them on the platforms, or on Final Destination like this stage. Then you can juggle them with your aerials, or just up smash, up tilt, up air, all that kind of stuff, and potentially get an edge guard off of them like that. If you're using stuff like forward smash or down smash, well, I guess down smash kind of sends upward, but it's a bit laggier. If you're using forward smash, I guess I'll just use that, then you will most likely just have them into a position where they're off stage like that, and then you just have to edge guard them. Which, to edge guard, Mega Man has a lot of different options. So the best option for edge guarding, at least the way that kills the quickest, would be Hard Knuckle, as Hard Knuckle has a meteor effect that kills characters pretty easily, especially characters with weaker recoveries. They can die at like 30, but even characters with stronger recoveries can still die at about 50 just due to the strength of the meteor. The advantage of Mega Man's down air is the fact that you have a bit of range, just due to it being a projectile that's moving downwards. You can see there. So that can allow you to hit characters with disjointed up specials, like Peach and Daisy or King K. Rool, that can hit you while they're recovering. You can hit them a lot easier than most other characters, just due to the fact that you have a disjointed hitbox going downward that will spike them. So you will be more likely to be able to spike them off of that, although there are a lot of up specials that will trade with your Hard Knuckle and prevent you from being able to spike them, just because the trade will nullify the hit. So nothing's really going to happen, they're just going to recover like nothing happened. So yeah, you have Hard Knuckle. The next best move I would say would be Fair. Fair doesn't really offer too much knockback on its own, but it's very fast, so it can allow you to get back to the ledge a bit faster than a move like back air. Back air and Fair are probably interchangeable, kind of like how I mentioned in melee moves. They're pretty much just interchangeable on which one's better or which one's worse. But yeah, back air is going to offer more knockback, so you might want to use that at lower percents, I mean. Even higher percents as well, but the advantage of forward air is just that it's much faster, so it gives your opponent a bit less time to react. Plus, you're able to still face them, which can allow you to get like your neutral air pellets on them as well, which is another option that you have is neutral air while edge guarding. Although this one's a bit, I guess, flashier than the other ones. Obviously, if you can land it consistently, then it's not too flashy. Or I guess it's still kind of flashy, but the main issue with it is that it's got a small hitbox that's going to cause that knockback effect that you want to be able to edge guard someone, like that effect there. So if you miss that, then you're open for a bit, or they can just get hits done and nothing really happens, and they can recover if they have like pretty strong recoveries, although characters like Simon and Richter that don't really have that strong of recoveries are going to be in a bit of trouble. Forward smash is another edge guarding tool, although it's a bit less useful as it's pretty situational. It's mainly useful against Little Mac, I would say, due to him being a character that's prone to side specialing back to the ledge, just due to the fact that his up special doesn't really offer too much recovering abilities. So using forward smash on a character like Little Mac will allow you to be able to edge guard them pretty easily. Although, as you can see with Simon, or this Richter here, he's going to be recovering a low a lot of the time, so you might want to go for your Hard Knuckle instead. You also have your special projectiles, which are going to be like your down special and your neutral special, mostly. I'll get into Crash Bomber in a second, but Metal Blade isn't really going to offer too much edge guarding ability due to it just having hit stun. I guess you could give someone that's recovering underneath the stage, potentially, by getting a good angle, or doing something like that to be able to interrupt tethers, but outside of that you're not really going to be able to give anyone, most likely just using Metal Blade, even with the Z-drop hit. That causes a bit of knockback, but it's still not enough to be able to kill someone off stage at a good enough percent for me to recommend that move. Although you could combo off of it, so it does have that advantage with the Z-drop Metal Blade. You can combo off of it into your down special or your down air. But another move that you can use for edge guarding that's a bit better is your down special. The advantage of this move is that it can 2-frame. You can hit people on ledge due to the fact that it can hit underneath the ledge slightly. Although you have to time it right is the main issue with this move. So if someone's like camping on the ledge as well and they just won't get off of it, then you can just summon a down special, Leaf Shield, and just be able to knock them off the ledge pretty easily. The final special, which is probably the best special to use off stage for edge guarding, is going to be your Crash Bomber. As you can see there, you can stick it to the ledge. You can obviously stick it to fighters as well, and it'd be pretty useful to combo off of. But yeah, if you use it especially lower underneath the stage, that can prevent characters from getting into positions where your downer is going to be difficult to hit. Because a lot of the time, if people recover underneath the stage like this, you can see it kind of just drags them to the ledge, and that allows them to get underneath the stage without them having to worry about you being able to downer them. So, if you Crash Bomber the wall, you will be able to kind of just set a motion detector down there, so that way if they try to recover underneath stage like that, you can just hit them with that, and then it will do damage, but it probably won't kill. It will just be something that's kind of I don't know what to call it, but just something they have to watch out for, I guess, whenever recovering, because it will do damage to them. And then if they miss a tech at mid percents, then they will most likely be unable to recover. But characters like Pikachu, even if they miss it at mid percents, will still be okay. So, but characters like Simon and Richter, or characters that recover underneath stage often but still have pretty weak recoveries, like I guess Marth and Lucina or Ryu and Ken, they don't have necessarily too weak of recoveries, but still weaker than a character like Mega Man. They might have an issue with that. So, yeah, now into your disadvantage. Alright, yeah, I'll just go into disadvantage. So, with disadvantage, this is probably what your disadvantage is going to look like. You're going to be, let's just say you're at about like 70-ish%, while your opponent's at about maybe 40. So, just gonna create a scenario here. So yeah, this is probably a decent example of how your disadvantage is going to look. You're going to be at the ledge. You've been playing a bit too defensively, and you've backed yourself into a corner in neutral, and now your opponent has done enough damage for you to be able to get you into a position where they can knock you off stage. So, yeah, let me just turn the CPU on to kind of show how this would play out. So as you can see, tried to neutral air them, they were able to read the neutral air and punish with a down tilt. So that forced me to go off stage, but yeah, that's just a mini example there. So once you're off stage, your options are for sure limited, but even whenever you're on stage like this, you only have a few options. And a lot of the options that you have, they will most likely be the wrong one, just due to the fact that whenever in disadvantage, Mega Man's melee moves aren't as impressive as whenever he's in advantage. It's mainly just due to the fact that most of the disadvantage moves are very situational. They depend on your opponent to be in a certain position, and if they're not in that position, so if this Richter was on the ground charging forward smash and I tried to back air him, then I'm obviously just going to be hit by the forward smash as soon as I touch the ground. So, That's kind of an example of how it depends on what you've learned in neutral on if you make it out of the corner or not in disadvantage. And I'll be going over what it looks like to not make it out of the corner in a second, but your main options for getting out of the corner are going to be down tilt. It has a hitbox where you kind of move yourself a bit, or like the animation of the move makes it where you move a bit lower to the ground, so your hitbox is a bit shifted. You might be able to dodge some attacks, although you're still pretty tall whenever you're crouching. Or not necessarily crouching, but whenever you're sliding like this, so you will most likely still be hit by a lot of moves. But it's pretty fast, and doesn't necessarily have too much in lag, especially like on shield compared to a lot of your other moves that you have in the corner. So you obviously have your pellets. For this, I'd be recommending neutral air and forward tilt. As I showed earlier, you kind of have a combo that can get you out of disadvantage for free if you land it, which is your forward tilt into neutral air. So you don't even have to land multiple forward tilts, you can just land one, but as long as you land one forward tilt and you're close enough to your opponent and you neutral air, then you will be able to get out of disadvantage for free. Kind of went for the spike there, although wasn't worth it. But yeah, that's just kind of an easy way to get out of disadvantage from long range. Because characters like Richter, especially like Simon and Richter, can pressure you at the ledge even from a distance. So like Richter could be all the way over here, and I've held and just barely reach him. But as long as I hit him with one forward tilt, so you can see I can get another 2 forward tilts into a neutral air and then get a true combo off of it and then instantly push him back pretty far and be able to get mostly out of disadvantage. You might still have a % disadvantage, but you're not in the corner, so you can go back to playing neutral. And if you didn't catch what I said earlier, in the example, this was a Mega Man that had been playing too defensively. They were backing up too much, so their opponent kept approaching. Now, to avoid situations like this, you can also approach a bit while you're spamming neutral air. Not necessarily jab while in neutral, but if you're using neutral air, you can kind of get a bit closer and a bit back to kind of just mix up your movement. But you want to make sure if you're moving around like this that you have the neutral air fired. Like you fired one neutral air and then you start moving. As if you do it a bit too early, you could do a forward air or a back air, and then you might get caught. And then I already kind of mentioned that back air and forward air, while in disadvantage, have their uses for being able to be anti-air. But for anti-ground, you pretty much have forward smash, down tilt, and down special. With down special, you can mix this up a lot. You can do just no charge, you can do slightly charged, or you can do the fully charged down special. Whichever one you choose doesn't necessarily matter. If someone's right next to you, I would recommend the fully charged one, and then you just keep moving. All you have to do to keep it charging like this is just hold down B after initiating the down special. So I'm just holding down B and then I'm just walking forward. And that will allow you to be able to kind of push them back on the stage. You could even just run them all the way pretty much to the center stage, as long as you don't dash through them like I did there. But yeah, you can kind of just continuously push them, and then you're back at about center stage, and then you can hit them with like a fair like I did there, and be able to put them in disadvantage. That's another option you have. Your forward tilt to neutral air is a bit safer, as it's just faster, but your down special, your least shield, is going to be a lot more effective, because it can pretty much either put you in advantage from disadvantage, or kind of just guarantees you to be put back to neutral. Whereas with your forward tilt, it's a bit less risky, but you might not be able to enter advantage for the most of the time. You're just going to be entering neutral again. So yeah, but now into disadvantage, off stage, so you're recovering. So whenever you're off stage, you have a lot of options. A lot of options that characters don't have as well. That I kind of have talked about in a few previous guides, including the movement guide. So you can jump, you can up special, and you can air dodge in one recovery, as long as you haven't done one of the options already. outside of, you know, getting hit to refresh your up special and air dodge. You only have one jump though. As long as you have been hit once, then you'll have two up specials. So, like if you up special once, then you get hit, you can up special again. But you can also do that with like your crash bomber. You can set it to kind of explode while you're right next to it. So, if I were to do, well, that was Metal Blade there. You can see it hit me there, and then I was able to still up special. If I'd already up specialed or up specialed into it, then I would actually be able to get a second up special. But you can even see that I didn't even tech there, and I was still able to make it back. With Mega Man, I would strongly recommend up specialing before jumping. Your jump height's okay, even the one off stage, as it's a bit shorter, and your air dodge is kind of average in length. It's no NES or anything, but the advantage to using your up special is that if you use up special and you get hit, you still have your jump. If you jump and you get hit, then you don't get your jump back. You just have up special and air dodge. And then if you air dodge, you won't be able to defend yourself. Whenever you get back onto stage, you'll be in the lag of the air dodge, so you might get caught by a forward smash or something if someone read it. Whereas if you up special, you can instantly perform a move as you're landing, and it also kind of puts you up into the air. If you do it a bit lower, then obviously you'll be straight at the ground level. Even then, that has its advantages, but even recovering to the ledge has its advantages, as that allows you to get ledge invincibility, as long as you don't get too framed. So, yeah, most of the time what you'll see me do is I'll up special, jump, and then air dodge to recover. And most of the time it will be pretty low, like this. Like I'll do a up special to a jump, I'll do something like that as well. Kind of just stall at the ledge for as long as I can. Although, I would not recommend that you do the same option twice. So what I mean by that is that, obviously up specialing is going to be more effective than just jumping, as if you lose your jump, then you can't recover in some situations. Just due to the fact that up special is mainly a vertical move, it's not too much horizontal. Although it still has a lot of horizontal mobility compared to some other up specials. But, yeah, the main issue with always up specialing is that it has a set height, obviously, and if people notice that you keep up specialing, they will be able to tell if you're either going to up special to ledge, or if you're just going to up special on the ground. If they notice you doing that repeatedly, then they will start to try to punish. And then if you get red while recovering, it's not going to be too good, as whenever you're recovering, you've only got a few options. You've got your get up attack, you've got get up neutral, get your drop from ledge, jump from ledge, and then your roll get up, which I'll show here. So, yeah, those are your options whenever you're recovering onto the ledge, and then whenever you're going off the ledge, you've pretty much just got, like, fair, neutral air, or back air, depending on how you face when you went off, or if you B-reverse as well. As B-reversing your up special actually has some advantage whenever you're recovering, as that can allow you to do instant back airs, rather than risking fair or neutral air. As with back air, it's a bit riskier, because if you touch the ground, then like if you touch the ground during it, then you could get jabbed. And that can put you either into a position where you're back in disadvantage, or if you're playing a character like Bowser Jr. who has a really strong jab, that can actually just lead to your death. So, kind of requires some matchup knowledge as well, like depending on which character you're facing. But most time, back air is just going to be safer, just due to the fact that if you do land it, you have so much knockback to work with, whereas with fair you have a bit less knockback and hit stun. So you might be able to get approached after you recover a bit easier. So yeah, that should about cover everything. So that's going to be the conclusion of this kind of mini-series. If you would want to see any more characters to kind of go over an in-depth analysis, let me know. I've been thinking about doing one over like Bayonetta, Peach, or Ryu slash Kin, and then obviously Daisy as well as Peach, but um, I don't really know which character I should do next. I just did Mega Man due to him being a bit more of a confusing character to play, but I could even do simpler characters as well, like Mario or Luigi. Luigi's maybe not that simple, but you get the idea. I could do in-depth analysis for anyone. You can let me know. Although, I guess my main plan would be to do one on Ryu and Ken, so I'll have to be working on that for a bit of time. It's not going to be releasing next Friday, most likely. But, yeah, for now, that's going to be it. I guess I can talk about streaming schedule while I'm here if you're interested in that. You can stay, but outside of that, I'm pretty much done with this guide. So, yeah, for streaming schedule, I kind of mentioned that I will be able to stream Monday and Tuesdays and stuff, and I'll be able to stream more often, and then I didn't stream for a while, until today. I've been busy, so, what I normally have to do on Mondays and Tuesdays has been, like, eliminated, so, that usually takes a bit of time as well. So I'll have a bit more free time, but it just depends on how much stuff I get done during that free time, if I can stream or not. But, yeah, Wednesdays are still probably going to be the same. It's probably a 50-50 chance of me streaming. Thursdays, I should be able to stream every day, kind of like I have been for the past few weeks. Fridays are still kind of off limits for the time being, although I think in about 2 weeks or so I should be able to start streaming on Fridays. And then this Friday and Saturday in particular, I won't be able to stream, kind of like last week. I think I did stream on Saturday, actually, last week, but this Saturday, if I do stream, it's going to be pretty late, but I doubt I will be able to stream until Sunday. So, yeah, that's going to be it for now. I guess let me just do a taunt for the thumbnail here. But, yeah, that's going to be it. And I guess hope to see everyone in the next stream.